Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to Talking with a Soul podcast. I'm your host, Lucas Volker, and we've got a really good topic for you to talk about today: dating in the 21st century. So, obviously, I'm not at my day job right now. I had a little bit of trouble getting out today. My car ended up wanting to do a 180 on the road as I'm trying to drive up a steady incline out of my complex, and turned completely around and I almost hit a parked car. So I said, nope, not going to do that. Texted my boss, said, hey, it's too dangerous out there for me. I don't want to risk it. So that gives me more of an opportunity to make another episode. Um, I'm very excited that we are officially on episode 2 of the podcast. None of this would happen without you guys. I appreciate all the love and support. Um, it's been humbling, and it's also been rewarding, and I love that. I absolutely love it. I knew what I signed up for, and I huge shout out to my friends and loved ones out there that have been supportive since I had the idea of making a podcast. You guys are amazing, and I love the heck out of you. You're one in a million, you really are. Um, Interacting, streaming has been great results. Gotten good results in the last 48 hours. The feedback is always appreciated. And episode 1, okay, got just over 100 views already on YouTube. So that's great. That's a great sign. And just over 25 streams on Spotify as of today. So very nice. I appreciate you guys once again. It's more than you know. I really, really do appreciate it. I tend to be a very wholesome guy too. Um, Now, the subject today is dating in the 21st century. It's crazy, right? Can go both ways. It can either be really good or it can be really bad. Could also meet somewhere in the middle. You could be wanting to stay single your whole life, and that's totally okay. You don't have to date. May not be worth it. Could also be very worth it. We're going to find out today. So, since Valentine's Day has recently passed, let's talk about the world of dating in the 21st century. Um, what do we as humans in a society, uh, what do we do when we want to pursue dating? Do we use dating apps like Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, FarmersOnly.com? I don't know, Christian Mingle, all those kind of dating apps. Do we want more genuine connection, like face to face, and just like handwritten love letters to somebody out there, or do we just want to like wait for the right person to come and figure things out from there? Um, it's kind of a blur when you think about it, because we used to be and this is, I'm going to bring up a great point here. I think social media has a huge, very huge, very large influence, very large influence on dating in this world today, because we see celebrity couples, we see athlete couples, we see couples in our high school and our workplace. I hope not too much in the workplace. That'd be a little weird. But we see them all over the place. We see it all over TikTok, X, or Twitter, however the hell you want to call it. Snapchat, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. We see it everywhere in our faces, and we have these high or low or just extremely ridiculous expectations of thinking like, I need to have a relationship like that one. I don't think that's the case. I don't want it to be the case. I like to have my own relationship of my own, where we do our own things. We don't have to take inspiration from couples on the internet. And I think that's kind of ruined society as a whole. And as I said, we have these unreal expectations of what dating can be like. We think it's all a romance movie. It's not. It's a lot of work and a lot of progress, a lot of time and dedication too. And you really have to be patient in this dating world too, because there's a lot of people out there that just want to mess around and not have any attachment, and that's okay. I'm not saying that that's totally against the law. Okay, I am not a guru. Okay. Um, I do think I'm Cupid sometimes. I did get an old friend of mine hooked up with a girl who's now his wife. So happy for them. Um, I also, we're going to use this data later, but my best friend, who I was a best man for last year at his wedding, he met his now wife on Hinge. And I get so jealous because I feel like he's had more luck, obviously more luck on dating apps than I have, whereas I've been single a little bit longer. And it's, you know, it's all right though. Right one will come along. I'm not complaining about dating and not dating. It's just a whirlwind, man, and it's a huge topic to talk about in today's age because we've entered an era where dating apps, hookup culture, and all these different kinds of things are taking huge effect on people, their mental health, their marriage rates, divorce rates, successful relationships, um, things like that, man. And it's just crazy to live in that time where this is all happening. And what do is it a problem? I don't think so. But do I think that we can improve on this type of thing? Sure, absolutely. What are your guys' dating preferences? Do you prefer to be single? Do you want a long-term relationship? Do you want marriage? Do you want kids? Do you want a family? Let me know in the comments section. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. If you're listening on Spotify, I believe there's a comment section on Spotify. You can leave comments on there if you'd like. Make sure you like and subscribe and follow for more content. I have a Facebook page, Instagram page. I'm trying to work on a TikTok page. That's going to take a while though before I get the ball rolling on that. But free and available on Spotify and YouTube. Uh, yeah, just keep up the interactions, guys. I love talking and interacting with people. That's why I made the Stam podcast because I'm a social butterfly. And as you can tell, my buddy Guy Fieri right there says, "Welcome to Flavor Town." Um, that has nothing to do with what I was going to lead up to, but I have quite the personality. Okay, it really brings the flavor and personality in this entire room. Okay, so anyway, we got off topic there. Yeah, dating, man, it's a wild, wild, wild roller coaster. Um, but there have been many success stories. In fact, I took the liberty of gathering some data on social media, Facebook, Instagram. Um, from friends asking the question, do you think dating apps work? And I've gotten quite a bit of feedback. It's a landslide in the voting, okay, whether it's yes or no. It's a very vague question, I understand, but um, I just wanted to know everybody's preference, and I actually got some good good reasons why they think it works and doesn't work from some friends of mine. And I was just very pleased with the feedback. It means a lot. It gives people information. It gives me something to talk about for these episodes. And again, you guys are fan freaking tastic. Tastic. Casket. Am I dead? Okay, anyway, so the poll results of do you think dating apps work? 31 people voted yes, whereas 8 said no. 23 vote differential there. Um, but hear me out. So the reason it being vague is because, well, I was just too lazy to go in depth with the question. But I wanted um, my viewers, my followers, my friends and family to give me their reason, and I wanted to use this data to give to you guys from them and not just my words. Okay, so we're gonna hear not directly from them, but I have some quotes here from some friends that left um, for me to use for this episode. The first one is from Alicia Kay. She says, I think they can work, but rarely. My boyfriend and I dated a little in high school, then reconnected on Tinder. So what you're saying is, Alicia, is that you were on a break, just like Ross and Rachel, friends reference. oh my God, this guy knows TV references. We love him. No, but all in all, yeah, that's a good answer. I do agree. They do rarely work in some cases. It just depends on what you're looking for. And I'm going to bring that up later in another comment. But it really is, there's several different types of people. And that's why on certain dating apps, they allow you to look for a specific relation type, where it's life partner, long term, open to short term, open to long term, seeking friends, or not sure. It leaves it up to you, but you have all the freedom to match with whoever you want too, or attempt to match with whoever you want. um, at least from my experience. There are some people that do like doom swiping, where you just swipe right on every single person until you run out of likes to use. um, that gets pretty crazy. I haven't done that myself. um, but I can't imagine doing it. I am not that type of person. I don't think of dating as a game, although it can be a game if you want it to. But for me personally, I want to date for a long term relationship, eventually to get married. I'm 20, soon to be 28 years old, guys. I'd like to start a family soon. I like to have my own house soon. I have goals, I have plans. Okay. Anyway, so the next comment from Eric K says, I think it's situational, and frankly, I haven't been on any dating apps in over a decade, so I may not be qualified to answer this. This is true. Eric is married and just gave birth to his daughter. I'm very proud of him. Give a round of applause for Eric. Love you, buddy. Um, it feels like forced interaction and a little superficial at times. I can agree with that. It does feel forced, especially like when an app is made for this person to message first or something like that. I think it's like Bumble, or yeah, I think it's Bumble, where the female has to answer or text first, and then you start a conversation from there. But that's I don't know if I like that idea. It's really weird, and I just puts more pressure. And like you said, Eric, it's very forced interaction, and I hate small talk. I really really do. It's cringe, and you know I kind of thrive in cringe areas, but just for the jokes of it, not to be serious and force cringe. That'd be really, really bad. um, moving on to the next comment that I'm going to use. This will be the last one I use before we move on to the next topic. Um, from Nate P. He says, dating apps work better for women, in my opinion. Men will date down, and I feel like because of this, women have unrealistic expectations at times. I also feel like dating apps may work well for meeting people, but the percentage of long term relationships that come out of those dates are low. You also have to beat the algorithm, especially with paid apps like Tinder or Bumble. Facebook dating works decently well. Do dating apps work for hookup culture? Sure. But for anyone dating with intent, I feel like they're a waste. That is probably my favorite answer of all of these. No offense to you guys. Um, but Nate brings up a really good point, man. It is very specified on your dating preference, like I said. And like what he said, if you're looking for hookup culture, you've got a bang for your buck, man. It's almost like hitting that buzzer beater 3 every time you go on Tinder and you're looking for a hookup. It's there. Um, um, but like, yeah, I've never tried Facebook dating before. I've seen people use it, and it's pretty fucking crazy. um, I've seen a lot of like interesting individuals on there from my friends, and I just let's just say it's not for me. Okay, it's not the dating app for me. But I'm willing to give it a shot. I am single currently right now. It's not by choice, but it's more just it happens. Whatever happens, happens. I'm not rushing into anything anytime soon, but if something comes along, I'm open to it. Anyway, but Nate really gives a really good example of realism, and like, especially this part where he says women have unrealistic expectations at times. That's also for men too. Men like to think with their dicks sometimes, and they think I gotta have like the hottest model looking chick ever in the palm of my hand, or else I'm not gonna get anywhere. And that might be a red flag to most people. Um, but it's whatever, man. It's based on your preference, and you know, if you want to date a woman for looks, for money, for sexual attraction, anything like that, go ahead. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. It's whatever you prefer. The point is, do dating apps work? And it looks like, from the majority of people that I've gathered information from, looks like they do, but in certain circumstances. That blah 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 blah. Talking's hard, man. You would think, being born in America, that English being my first language, it would be relatively easy for some people. No, it's actually quite hard to comprehend sometimes. Maybe I just need to read a book every now and then. Comment for some book recommendations, please. Anyway, that about sums up that topic there on dating apps. What I also wanted to talk about was some personal experiences, because I've had a lot of misses, literally misses, misses, like swing and miss. You get it. Some dad humor, but no, some misses on dating apps. I've also had a few good hits. Some people I've met like in person, not from a dating app, have worked out okay. Worked out pretty well, actually. In fact, the two girlfriends that I've had in my life met through genuine connection, also through Facebook and other social media apps. That's not the point, though. Well, kind of is. Social media has an influence. This goes back to what I said earlier. It has a huge, huge, huge influence on dating in the world of dating today. Um, because we see like all these different couples out there, and we think like, oh, I got to be like them. Like I've got to hook up with this girl. I got to get with this girl, so it makes me look better. So it makes me feel better about myself. That's I don't personally like that idea of dating. I think it's a little weird. But anyway, personal experiences I've had. I'll be honest. I went in my hookup phase just for a little bit. I didn't intend it to, but I matched on Tinder with a girl before, and thought we hit it off with a pretty good conversation at first, and then one night I'm out with my friends, and she says, "Hey, come over." And I could tell she was drunk by her text, and I was like, "Oh, I'm out with friends right now." And she says, "Come over." And I was like, "Oh, okay, okay." So I put two and two together, and long story short, we hooked up um, twice within 8 hours. It was nice. And then I tried like I thought something would have come out of it, so I asked her like, "Hey, do you want to hang out the next day? Like, let's do something." And then I got the old, "Sorry, I just don't feel a connection with you." I mean, no shit. I mean, we hooked up at first. Like, we didn't really have time to get to know each other at all. So it is what it is. There's also some people that'll match with you, and then you'll say like, "Hi" or "Hello" or "What's up?" Or you'll hit them with a pickup line, and you'll get unmatched. That happens a lot. That's how dating works, man. That's how putting yourself out there works sometimes. You like my hand gestures, the way I flop my hands around? I promise this isn't my Tourette syndrome. This is just the way I do things. To those of you watching on YouTube, yeah, don't worry about it. Those of you listening on Spotify, I'm just waving my hands a lot, kind of like Kermit the Frog. Yay! Um, yeah, and then Hinge is where I think it gets a little more interesting, because it gives you options on a person's bio like different prompts and stuff that you can like as opposed to just a picture to make it seem less awkward, I guess. But to me, I like that aspect because it really shows me like how how they like go about themselves, like what their personality traits are, instead of just like, for instance, like Tinder or Bumble will just say like, "Hit me with your best pickup line." I like Mari's and tacos. That just an example like that, and I'm just like, that doesn't really tell me enough about you. Tell me the real nitty gritty stuff. Like, what is your favorite uh, sprinkler setting? You know, what's your favorite garden hose setting? Like a water hose setting, not garden hose. You know, tell me that kind of stuff. What movie is like your guilty pleasure? Tell me that stuff. I want to know some whack shit, some absolute bonkers information. All right, that's not really bonkers information what I listed off, but you get what I'm saying, right? Um, Hinge though, like I've made some good matches here and there. I just I think I had a couple dates off of Hinge. It just hasn't worked out long term for me. And you know what? All in all, that's okay. Just haven't found the right one yet. Like I said, I'm not complaining about any of these things. I'm just giving my personal experience um, to counterbalance with the poll results of saying, yes, dating apps work. But going back to what other people have said, it just definitely just depends on what you're looking for. Um, and that is as a very true statement. I agree with it 100%. I think for the most part, there's a lot of misses and a lot of not so good things that come out of it. But if depending on what you're searching for, if you're searching for like just friends or a hookup or a long term connection, it can work out really well. Um, like I said, my buddy Nathan or Nate, whatever the hell he wants to be called by, he's a real jackass. No, he met his now wife off Hinge, and it worked. And I don't know how he did it, but it worked. Uh, and then I also got another message from a friend who's getting married this year, saying dating apps are how I found my future husband. Um, Shout out to you, Midori. I'm happy for you. Um, so that kind of concludes this episode. I wanted to definitely like get this topic out there because this is a very inclusive topic. It gets people talking and talking and talking and excuse me, not necessarily arguing, but debating and just kind of bouncing ideas off each other. Like, oh, this is what you're looking for. This is what I'm looking for. We can find common ground. And please, no arguments and comments. I hate that shit. I will delete you, block you, whatever I had to do. I understand it's the internet, so that's going to happen. But just give your insight. I want to know your personal experiences. I want to know how dating apps have worked for you. Give me all that information. I can use it for research purposes. Anyway, that's going to do it for me on episode 2. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Once again, these episodes are free and available on Spotify and YouTube. Like and follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I try to post as much as I can outside of my day job. But once again, yeah, thank you for listening. And this has been Talking with a Soul, the podcast.